Excellent, there we go. So, just to recap. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 20. Semi-final number 2. Bouldog from Greece facing off against Pavel from Russia. Pavel holding the legendary rank 88 currently. We're gonna go ahead and join the match on his side. The classes from the players are Pavel's Druid, Priest and Warrior versus Bouldog's Hunter, Mage and Warlock. We will see a Druid versus Warlock. This is more than likely a basic combo Druid. Yep, there we go. Holding on to all of the cards makes a lot of sense. Innervating the Shade on turn 1 is a very, very strong start. Against Bulldogs, let's see what he's got. Handlock. This should be a pretty even match. Starting the game with a coin plus Mountain Giant Twilight Drake. It actually talks in favor of using a coin life tap this turn. Because I personally don't like the turn 3 coin Twilight Drake play that much. Actually, Pavel opting to not use the Innervate Shade of Naxxramas, probably due to the fact that he didn't have a very strong game after that. Using turn 2s and not play the Ancient Watcher either, this means that on turn 3 you will have 9 cards in your hand, forced to play out something, and if you go for the coin Twilight Drake, that means you will not be able to play down the Mountain Giant on turn 4. Yeah, I understand why he does it, but this means that the Mountain Giant will be stuck in his hand for one more turn. And you're facing a Druid, which can just completely obliterate you by silencing the 4-1. If he goes for the Innervate, then you can use the hero ability to clear out the 4-1 before it gets to trade with the Keeper of the Grove, but is that not something that you really are concerned with? You're still left with one Innervate, which will enable you to play down the Boom or the Ancient Allure next turn. I would use it just to clear off the 4-1 this turn, and Pavel agrees. We will see the Golden Shapeshift take place, and removal of the Twilight Drake efficiently. Now, if you're the Handlock, oh yeah, the Hellfire will be able to clear out the Shade of Naxxramas. This actually might be a very, very important draw, because of the fact that now he denies the Shade from growing any further. And he's able to play out the one card, so you'll get the Mountain Giant come next turn. Yep, Hellfire getting pretty good value there. Especially in this matchup when there's not going to be a lot of stuff left on the board. Except for the incoming Dr. Boom on the turn 5, which you couldn't possibly see coming due to the fact that they just used one Innervate already. Getting the second Innervate is just rubbing the sand in the opponent's sides right now. Using the Ancient Allure over the Dr. Boom to draw cards. I would have preferred to see the Dr. Boom myself. It would have given so much more aggression. On the other hand, you are facing a Handlock, and the Handlock does have a myriad of opportunities to clear out your board if you have a lot of minions out there. The first Mountain Giant handled easily by the Big Game Hunter. A bit of a letdown for the Handlock, especially given that he doesn't have any other big giants in his hand right now. Turn 6, what do you want to siphon? If you want to use the siphon, you're going to use it on the Ancient Allure. The Shadow Flame could be used on the Ancient Watcher as well, but that does leave the Ancient Allure alive. There we go, the siphon is going to get used. Double Defender Forges with no targets, and a Sludge Belcher, which doesn't fit the curve right now. I understand the siphon solo 100%. Now we see the Dr. Boom go down. Perfectly on curve. This 6 damage, not gonna get used because of the danger of the Molten Giants getting popped down onto the board. A very, very smart choice. You're still threatening lethal next turn if you draw into a Savage Roar. This Ancient Watcher Shadow Flame combo probably gonna go off. Make sure that you don't die this turn. And if the Boom Bots hit the face just right, you'll be able to utilize the Molten Giant. For 2, not quite enough. One more and would have been usable. Well, it actually doesn't matter because of the fact that the boom bots did so much damage for altogether that the straight damage from the hand of Pavel is going to be enough to end the game. Either the swipe or the Druid of the Claw would have been enough. So there we go. Pavel takes the first win. It is now 1-0 in semifinal number 2. His Druid means he's got the Priest or the Warrior left. And you are facing a handlock, so the Warrior, the Warrior is going to go down.
Your soul shall be
And there we go.
mine. Victory or death.
This might be a very, very fast 2-0 in a way, because I do see the Warrior being a bit advantaged in this situation. You have got the high armor value removals with the shield slams, and the executes can deal with the handlocks giants. And a lot of high value end game legendaries. Ah, there we go, killing one gnome for the team. On the other hand, looking at it right now, it's not over yet. Since the handlock didn't start with the coin, he's able to go into the turn 4 mountain giant fairly safely. Might even go for the Twilight Drake first. This is just maximum usage of armor as much as possible to enable the shield slam to take out the big value targets. This Twilight Drake, on the other hand, is it worth it? If you hero power shield slam, yes, you can take care of it, but if you had silence, you would be much better off. Shield block first to see what you get, and then shield slam as well. Works as well as the hero power, but is more efficient on the curve. I like it a lot. Handlock tapping once more. Make sure that it gets the 3 mana mountain giant out. No second shield slam though. Utilizing it on the 4-9 enables the 8-8 to live one more turn.
Speak to me. Back to work.
Taskmaster on the Acolyte, just to draw into those cards that you absolutely must get. And if you had gotten the shield slam, you could have coined it out to take care of the 8-8. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There's also no executes in Pavel's hand. This Taskmaster being used on the Acolyte of Pain might actually telegraph to bouldog that, okay, the opposing warrior doesn't have executes, because if he had executes, he would have used the Taskmaster to ping down my mountain giant and then coin out the execute itself. So if he can read the game situation correctly, he might just go for, well, he might just go for the Hellfire as well, because it doesn't matter that the mountain giant gets some damage into it. And it takes care of both the smaller minions from the warrior's side of the board. There we go, shield slam. One card too late. Just one card. Sometimes can make all the difference. Now you're down to 1 armor, and the shield slam's value is pretty much non-existent. Pointing out the boom, safe play. Should be able to handle the opposing mountain giant. With luck, the boom bots might even be able to handle it. The Mortal Coil play onto a boom bot to cycle for a card. I see the value in it before you commit into the Defenders or Iron Beaks. You can still play, well, the Shadow Flames. 2 damage on the Mountain Giant, not something you want to see. If you attack the Mountain Giant into the face, then you can, in theory, first Shadow Flame it. But in this case, you're holding on to the AoE. Yeah, you're holding on to the AoE and still getting rid of the Dr. Boom. Losing out on 8 face damage isn't that vital in this matchup. In theory, you could Owl the Engine Watcher, use it to go for face damage, before using the Defender of Argus on both the Owl and the Watcher. I personally like the Owl over the life tap more because of the fact that then you could have attacked the face with the Watcher first for 5 damage, and you would have been left with a 5-6 and a 2-3, sorry, a 3-2 defense body. Yeah, the Boombot might have had the chance to kill off the 3-2 in a 1-4 chance, but I would have taken the risk. Now, if you silence the Watcher, the obvious downside being that you will lose the +1/+1/+ taunt. Nothing that's able to clear out the Sludge Belcher, unless you want to go for the Shadow Flame this turn onto the Watcher, and then drop the 1-2 with the Defender Fargus. Other options, just playing the Ragnaros, it's not that great. Dark Bomb deals 3, you can then attack with the Defender Fargus, and you're left with the 5-6 Watcher onto the board.
So many.
Yeah, maybe. Just the anti heal bot into hero ability, or the Lothep into hero ability. No. Makes even less sense. Considering there are now 3 minions on the warrior side of the board, I personally would have preferred to see the Shadow Flame this turn. Those 3 minions are still left on the board, and this Armor Smith will be able to start grinding out huge amounts of value. You can even argue for the Shield Maiden plus... Ah, yes, you can't argue for it, because of the fact that the Lothep denies the Shield Slam this turn, but still, under normal circumstances, you would have been in a pretty good position to start just whacking these small guys into the 5-6 and then utilize the Shield Slam, or just using the Shield Maiden into the Shield Slam, taking out the 5-6 to go for the face damage. Seeing as how the opposing Warlock did not clear the board last turn, even though there were 3 targets, you're fairly safe to just pop down the Shredders on the board. Even if the AoE does come down, the Shredders will still summon those 2 cost minions, so it's not a big thing to lose. Owl on one of the Shredders to deny a single 2-drop.
So many.
Then we will more than likely see the Shadow Flame come down on the Ancient Watcher. There we go. And the 2-drop might even be cleared with the Lothep. You are left with 3 mana. And with this hand, yeah, you might want to Protector down Lothep, but you haven't played the Molten Giants yet in any useful fashion, so you don't really want to play the Sun Fury Protector right now. If you tap, you go down to 13, which means you are within range of of Grimosh getting lethal. But since the warrior only has 9 mana crystals, the Grom combo with Cruel Taskmaster is not able to be played yet. Perfectly on curve, played Alexstrasza. Yes, it does heal the Warlock for 2 hit points. On the other hand, it does mean that the Molten Giants will not be able to be played so easily. This big game hunter probably going to get played to remove the Alex. Leaves them with 7 mana. Tap Molten Giant. Sun Fury. Lots of options open there. Molten Giant on this side, Sun Fury for the Lothep and the Molten Giant. It does look better and better right now. The heal bot could be played this turn as well, but the double taunt should be able to take care of the potential Grom combo with ease. Using the 5/5 to clear out one of those 1/1s only makes sense if you're not going to be taunting this turn. The 1/1s are not a threat, especially against your bigger taunts. And with the 5/4 you would have been able to clear out all of the armor from the opposing warrior. I don't see the 1/1 removal as being a big priority right now. The Brawl gonna get huge value this turn. The 8/8 taunt is the one you don't want to be seeing after this. So it's a 1 in 5 chance. Nope, just the 4/2, which can be easily removed with Fire War Axe. Probably gonna see an Armor Smith drop or a hero ability. I personally prefer the hero ability. This matchup might well end up going into the fatigue numbers as well, so getting the armor up is a pretty nice bonus. And just a naked armor smith on the board by herself is probably going to be wasted due to the fact that you can just go ahead and combo her with other cards. There's not even been a dead spite yet. The whirlwinds haven't been activated. You don't want to be wasting her passive ability too soon. Tapping for the single mana Molten Giant into a Sludge Belcher to protect yourself from the Grom combo. Don't want to be playing Lord Jaraxxus yet, not when you haven't played the Molten Giants completely. There we go. The Shield Slam plus... Shield Maiden plus Armor Up. Able to handle the first Molten Giant, the second Molten Giant very easily. And the Shield Maiden is a perfect answer for the Sludge Belcher, and you'll be able to clear the 1-2 with the Fire War Axe as well on the next turn. 4 big 8/8s used from the hand lock. Not a lot of effect from a single one of them.
So many possibilities.
Playing down the Ragnaros is fairly safe, given that it's likely that they don't have a big game hunter. They would have used it last turn already. If the 8/8 hits the 5/5, yeah, there we go. The hand log is in a pretty good position. Harrison Jones, you want to hold on to that just for your Jaraxxus. Interestingly enough, deciding to use the weapon to go for the damage on the Sludge Belcher. I don't see what's there to be gained. Maybe the fact that you can use the Dead Spite on the upcoming turn against it. Maybe that's the reason you would want to take the 3 extra damage to your face. There's also been no executes yet, so
many possibilities.
The attack from either one of these minions into the Ragnaros would be very, very nice if you had the execute come up. There's probably 2 of them left in the deck, so 1 in 5 chance to get them.
My shield.
Defender Fargus for more value onto the board, and the Siphon for the 5/5. Pushing the Warlock well and above ROM range, even if something weird were to happen. And suddenly, the game has been turned over by bouldog in favor of the Greeks. Just due to the simple fact that there hasn't been enough answers from the warrior player's hand. If the 8/8 hits the opposing Ragnaros, there's still a chance. Nope, it goes for the face damage. Probably the least useful option right now, due to the fact that the Jaraxxus can be popped down. Jaraxxus will be removed with Harrison Jones. He might actually not even attack with Jaraxxus in anticipation of Harrison, but nope. Ragnaros doesn't hit Ragnaros. There is definitely lethal on board for Jaraxxus right now. But all the options for Pavel are also much, much nicer. There's the execute, just ever so slightly too late. At 5 mana, you can pop down the Sludge Belcher and hope to stay alive for a little longer.
I've got the beast in my
But the Big Game Hunter being the perfect answer for the opposing Ragnaros, of course gonna get used. Now you want to see one of these minions. One of these minions killed due to the fact that you are standing at the edge of lethal from the damage on the board. There's 9 damage on the board, plus Hellfire giving 12. So there's 13 hit points for the warrior, 1 off lethal for the warlock player right now. And this Ragnaros hitting face is perfectly countered with one of these antique heal bots. So that was definitely the worst possible option to get out of it. Now Pavel can still turn this around. He does have all of the required answers in his hand. A lot of aggressive cards. The combo with Grom already waiting. If he can stabilize and not die in the following 2 turns. And then, yeah, with that combo he's going to use the Mortal Coil on Ragnaros. And then Antique himself up to healthy amounts of life. 1 mana out of lethal. Due to the fact that you cannot execute the 3/1 Sun Fury. And play down Grom plus Taskmaster. Despite probably gonna get used for face damage and save himself with the Sludge Belcher. 7 direct damage, not able to be played right now. Once you pop the Sludge Belcher with the Death Spite, the 1/2 will be cleared off with the Sludge Belcher, and this Grom combo should be able to take down the Jiraxis. Unless a second Antique Killbot is played. And now you're playing the Fatigue match. As the warrior, you're pretty much forced to utilize the armor up. And now when you attack the opposing Sludge Belcher, you're taking yourself down to 5 with the hero power, taking 2 more damage from the Fatigue card next turn. You have seen both Hellfires, so that's not a threat. But you haven't seen both Dark Bombs, so there might still be a Dark Bomb in the enemy deck, and you're just dead to it. You're just straight up dead. Nothing you can do about that. So, hero power, maybe Sylvanas. Acolyte of Pain, you do not want to play Acolyte of Pain under any circumstances. That would increase your fatigue damage. Proccing the Death Spite first to use the Execute on the Sludge Belcher to clear the 1/2 with your own Sludge Belcher. That's a ballsy move to say the least. It's not as good on the curve either as just using the Death Spite for attack and taking the risk of there being no Dark Bomb. Ah, let's see, is that lethal? I don't think that is. It does push Jiraxis down into a position where he doesn't have a whole lot of hit points. But it also makes you vulnerable to a Siphon Soul for the Grimash. And lots of other things, so you never know. As we can see, there's only a Watcher, a Chow, a Dr. Boom, and then Inferno is coming down from Jiraxis, so I believe the game is over. There's nothing he can do to win it right now. There's no way for him to taunt things up, and this Mountain Giant is just way too late. Enables absolutely nothing. There we go. Close call, but as I predicted, the Warrior gets the home win. Making it now 2-0 in favor of Pavel, the Russian player. But now that he's got to pick Priest against Bouldog's Handlock, I think we all know which one's favored here. It's gonna be an uphill battle to try and win this matchup. The Priest will work against Hunter and Mage pretty nicely, but it definitely is at a disadvantage against the Handlock. Can the Russian player 3-0 this despite the horrible matchup? We'll have to wait and see. His starting hand decides to go a little bit off to the side. But it's at least not as horrible as the Handlock starting hand because of the fact that you're holding on to Ragnaros, Defender and Antique with no targets, double Defender even. The Mortal Coil unlikely to get any value in this matchup. Well, it's not too much better for Pavel either. He will be able to play down Dark Cultist come turn 3. But that's it. Turn 4 is probably going to be used to play down the other Dark Cultist as well. And there are no responses. You can Dark Bomb into Mortal Coil this turn, making sure that the Death Rattle doesn't proc in a beneficent manner. And that's just what's gonna happen. Just as I was about to say that, just as I had said that the Mortal Coil is unlikely to get value, there we go. Bouldog proving me wrong immediately. It's pretty straightforward. Dark Cultist into a Sludge Belcher on turn 5. Even if there were a Mountain Giant in Bouldog's hand right now, it would get Shadow Word Deathed. So instead of that, he's just gonna go ahead and drop the Zombie Chow as fodder for the Cultist. No reason not to pop it. Although it doesn't provide you anything beneficial. At the moment, it's still a very, very nice thing to get 2 for 1 value at least on the Dark Cultist. Since you are very, very heavy on the spells right now, that's an interesting move. You could actually go for the Northshire Cleric heal on the 3-4. On the other hand, this way you're able to clear off the Lotheb and heal the Sludge Belcher. Is there a reason why you would not want to play the Northshire Cleric for the draw? I guess you're not wanting to draw the cards because of impossible fatigue in this match. I just don't see it right now. Why you would want to do that. The Shadow Word Death, pretty much perfect answer for the Dr. Boom right now. Clearing out one of those boom bots, nothing too major. With that 4 mana, you can go for the Northshire heal combo. The Wild Pyro Shadow Word Death into the 7/7. I would have liked to have seen that. Because of the fact that then you could have used the Pyro Shadow Word Death to clear out both boom bots and destroy Dr. Boom, not having to take any damage on the Belcher itself. Once again, opting to not draw cards from the Northshire Cleric. There must be something I'm missing right now. Yeah, maybe one of these boom bots could have hit the Wild Pyro in the previous set combo, but it still would have been worth it. To destroy 2 minions with the 1 spell, I would have taken it. 410. Not enough. And -2, that's not something you want to be seeing right now. And passively just using the heal on your minion. No silences for the 410. Nothing too major. Drawing into a second Twilight Drake from the handlock side. Probably going to get played. And drop that with a combination of a Defender of Fargus. You're going to have a very dominable wall of Taunters up. 2 5/11 Drakes. Not something you see every day. There is one more Shadow Word Death that could kill one of them. Alright, so now I see why he didn't want to use the Northshire Cleric. He wants to combo it with the Blade Master. There we go, Shadow Word Death being used for the Twilight Drake, and then Circle of Healing for all that draw. All the draw you can imagine. 7 cards.
Thank you.
And suddenly you're back into the game. Almost as much cards in your hand as the handlock currently has. Now, does he attack into the 5/11 to clear his board? I don't see a reason for him to do that yet. Maybe with the 1/1, yeah, because the 1/1 is expendable anyway. But the 3/4 will stay up as a meat shield. He will be able to utilize the 3/1 to take out the Twilight Drake in combination with Holy Fire before he procs it, because then he can utilize Cabal Shadow Priest. Oh, sorry, he can't. That's 2 mana off. So either use Cabal to take out Defender of Fargus, or use Holy Fire in combination with something for the Twilight Drake. But you want to use the Wild Pyro before using the spells, so you don't clear out this target. The Mountain Giant, 8/8, would be perfect to swap health with for Vol'jin. You could even argue for Vol'jin Holy Nova. If you were to go Vol'jin on the Mountain Giant, attack Pyro into the 5-6, then the Holy Nova, draw a few cards, no Shot Cleric into the 5-6, and Bob's your uncle. You've got a nice 6-8 minion and a nice 4-7 Blade Master coming up. With card draw or without, depending on the situation. Ah, does he see the same play as I do? Instead of Holy Nova, you could also maybe use Light of the Naru, Blade Master combo stuff.
The spirits be restless.
Oh, the spirits be restless indeed. There we go, and now he does not want to draw. Since you are at 9 cards, I completely understand why he opted to not go for the draw. That would have overdrawn him for 1 card come next turn. Set him up to 10 and then 1 over it. You're also in a situation where the game might be prolonged, so you don't want to melee yourself too much. When the Molten Giants or any other bigger targets pop up, you have the Mind Control just waiting to be used. 10 damage on board already. You're really happy to see the Molten Giant come down as 10 mana, due to the fact that, yeah, there's really no threat presented on the board when you utilize 10 mana. It's very, very slow from the handlock player, and then the Mind Control can be safely utilized. You're 2 damage off lethal. He can't put the second Molten Giant down. He can't really sacrifice anything to clear your board because all of your minions have at least 7 hit points. Yeah, the Ragnaros might be played. If it hits one of the minions, it's not lethal yet. Necessarily, if it hits the 8-8.
Shields up!
And using the Sun Fury for the taunt on the 8-8, so try and make sure that you're not dead next turn. 4-7 taken out. The 8-8 can be saved with a powered shield. What else? Cabal can be used to take out the 2-3 Sun Fury. Probably going to be the best target for Cabal Shadow Priest in this matchup. 2-3, either Sun Fury or Defender of Fargus. Nothing else on the board is worth it. Alright, so Big Game Hunter being stolen is a major, major thing. I wonder if you would opt to use the Big Game Hunter this turn. I would personally prefer to see him play it. That leaves 4 mana up, which means you can utilize your powered shields or whatever to get more advantage on the board back. Instead of using the Big Game Hunter, he's going to opt to hold on to it for the second Mountain Giant and then utilize the Cabal Shadow Priest now that he has a chance to do that. He does threaten lethal this turn with that combination. Definitely want to hold on to the Molten Giant being alive. The powered shield knew its place. So 5 damage from the Holy Fire, possibly 3 damage from the Alkanite Soul Priest, 3 plus 2 from the Lesser Heal, so 5 damage, 2 from the Holy Nova. That's it. So he's holding on to 10 damage, but he cannot utilize it all during 1 turn. Silencing down a Vol'jin means that the Hellfire will clear pretty much everything on the board, putting the lock into a much better position. Drawing the Mountain Giant as well. 2 Giants just waiting to be utilized. And the 4-5 standing there as a target for possible Shadow Flames. Powered Shield, just to draw a card. Circle Healing, well, you can argue to play Blade Master into Circle Healing to get both minions up as high as possible. Considering holding onto the circle for the Alkanite combo as well, it is worth it to think about the options, but I would value the 4-7 plus the 4-6, double 4-7 actually, over just the possibility of the 4 damage AoE. It's a tough call to make. Also, if you haven't noticed by now, all of Pavel's cards are golden. So this is one golden priest. It's also been played with 500 wins in mind, so very, very nice deck. All the effects you can ever think of. There we go. The Circle of Healing. Probably gonna get played. Or not. I could be completely wrong. Using the Mortal Coil to clear out the 4/4 this turn, and only then using the Circle of Healing. There we go. Now I understand. That makes a whole lot more sense. The Shadow Flame threat is now gone. Also the Silence threat from the 4/5 is gone. You're in a pretty good position when it comes to possible heals for future turns. He has played this matchup extensively well. The fact that he had 2 Shadow Word Deaths in the Priest deck means that he was set to face this matchup pretty well. Your standard tournament Priest deck doesn't run 2 Shadow Word Deaths. Usually you only run 1, and the big game hunters. So I guess he was expecting to face some sort of control heavy meta to put out both those Shadow Words. On the other hand, I haven't seen the big game hunter from his deck yet. So this big game hunter has been thought stolen from the Warlock itself, so there might be no BGHs, there might be just double Shadow Word Death. Interesting choice. The Warlock, faced with 8 damage from the Priest side of the board, has to decide on what course of action to take. Opting to go for the Mountain Giant into Sludge Belcher to make sure that he's not dead. If he hadn't done that, he would have actually faced lethal damage, so now Pavel can just take out the stolen big game hunter, start thinking about the ways he can clear this board. Blessing both minions. And then Holy Nova, clear the board, plus heal his own guys up into comfortable levels. There's the big game hunter from his side of the board, which does absolutely nothing against 4 attack minions. 12 damage on board. You do have the Defender Fargus you can utilize to taunt up your guys. The Molten Giant is only 3 damage, or 3 mana. So 3 plus 4, 7. You would need a 3 mana minion. You don't want to waste the big game hunter though. If you tap, take the Molten Giant for 1, 5, Argus. You can even go for the Molten Giant Shadow Flame play, which would clear the board completely. It is in fact more efficient than using it with the Defender of Argus. There we go. Clearing out this board nicely. And the Priest is starting to run out of steam. Thought Steal number 2, just as I was about to talk about the odds of how long this match can still last, does give him a lot of more options. The Siphon Soul is pretty much perfect, given that there might still be a big threat. Actually, no, there might not be any. He's played 2 Molten Giants, he's played 2 Mountain Giants, he's played the Ragnaros. What would you use the Siphon Soul on? Not a lot of options there. Still, it will make sure that anything that comes out onto the board will be removed. Jurex is at this stage of the game. Yup, I understand why he played it, but it might not be enough to save him. The Priest is actually turning this around. 9 damage, is it enough? That's 6 with Alchemy, 8 with Hero Power. He's 1 off lethal right now. Northshire right now is a risk. If you use Northshire and the opposing player is somehow able to force you to draw, it's unlikely. So in a way, I understand why he played the Northshire. Because even if Jiraxis heals himself up to full, this Northshire will be able to deal out that 1 crucial amount of damage that you are missing currently. And we see the Antique Healbot still unused. Even if he pops down Antique Healbot with the Sludge Belcher, yes, he will be able to survive, but then he's unable to utilize his Inferno ability. So only the Sludge Belcher currently will be able to save him. Or is that even enough? Yes, it would be, due to the fact that these minions on the board are not able to handle the Belcher by itself. This has been a very long matchup. Both are control decks, in the most direct sense of the word. And still, when I think about the options available to the handlock, none of them are very enticing. The Siphon Soul means that he will die this turn. He will get value from his own hero power, but unfortunately, he will also die. With the Alchemy, Light of the Naru, hero power. That's it. Game over. Well played. Pavel takes the series 3-0 in this Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament. You will be seeing a final match of Pavel versus Demon. France versus Russia. Congrats on the win. And we will join you guys in just a short second for the final itself.